That sound guy. Okay, first I have a question for you. How many people here have been to the Timpanogos Storytelling Festival? Raise your hands. Okay, good. So nothing to compare it to. Perfect. All right. One more question. How many people here have been in love? Raise of hands. There we go. Okay, love that. Great. Well, I'm going to tell you a new old story. New because I doubt anyone in this room has heard it. If you have, I owe you dinner. Old because it's like from 1,000 years ago. So this story is the story of Sheikh Sanan from 1100. All right, so everyone close your eyes for a second. We're going to set the story here. Close your eyes. It's 1,000 years ago. No cell phone. There's no Netflix, no cars, no air conditioning. Everybody you know lives right next to extremity. Death and disease and pain and suffering are next door neighbors. There is no respite. And you look outside and it is dusty, windy, desert, Mecca, Middle East. So that's where we are. Okay, open your eyes. So in this dusty place, there's a man named Sanan. Sanan is a holy man of Islam. For 50 years, he's studied nothing but the Quran. He has fasted, he's prayed, he's given his alms to the poor, he's had revelations, he's had divinations, he has 400 disciples. He's respected by the entire community and a leader in his city, in the holy city of Mecca. One night, Sanan awakes from a dream, terrified. He sees himself in Rome, having fallen to idolatry, in despair. Every night he's plagued with this dream. And one day he says to himself, there is no respite for me. I must go to Rome and see if I can resolve this vision. So he travels to Rome, across the desert, across the narrow sea, to the city of Rome, the heart of Christendom. And his 400 disciples follow him. In their robes, with their beards down to their waist, they follow him on this journey. So he gets to Rome, and the first thing he sees as he walks through the city gates is a woman on a veranda. And this woman is the most beautiful woman he's ever seen in his life. And he is struck for the first time with love. The powerful love that overrides everything else. He's burning up in his joints and in his blood. He's never felt anything like this. The only problem is this woman is a Christian, and he is a faithful Muslim. The love is so overpowering that he decides the rest of his life will be spent adoring this woman. He no longer cares for his faith or his community. He no longer cares for his priestly robes. He sits there on the street, gazes up at this woman, and collapses into the despair of love. His 400 disciples look at him and they're distraught. They say, Master, how can you do this? Don't forget your faith. Don't forget the people that you serve. How can you give yourself into this passionate love? And he says, everything that I had before, every good thing that I knew is nothing in the face of this overpowering feeling. His disciples turn to him and they say, how weak-willed can you be? How can you fall to this temptation? And he says, gentlemen, brothers, as of now, I'm a Christian. Your words are wasted on me. Return to Mecca. I have nothing here for you. So the brethren return. And the woman sees this elderly man, this priestly man, and she says, why do you gaze at me like this? Do you have any hope? Can you really entertain any hope that the two of us would be together? And he says, no, but I don't know what to do. I've never felt this before. There's nothing else I can do but adore you. And so this woman, in her meanness, devises a series of tests for him to prove himself, to burn the Quran, to drink wine, to do all the things he swore he would never do. And he does them. He gives up his faith. He joins Christendom. He takes on the baptism of Christianity. And his disciples leave back to Mecca. Upon return, they meet a wise man, 90 years old. And this wise man is friends with Sanan. And he notices that Sanan is absent. He says, where is my friend? Where is my brother? And they tell him how he has fallen to this idol, to this idolatry in Rome. The wise man looks at the disciples and he says, how could you, you villains, You cowards. How could you leave your friend in the worst time of his life, in the middle of his despair? For when does a man need friends more than in adversity? He took on Christianity, so should you have. He took on the baptism, what else had you to do? And he tells them, you have abandoned your faith because your love did not compel you to stay with this man. So, back to Rome. Sinan is sitting there in the dust by himself in his despair. And he looks up as feet approach him, withered, bloodied, and who does he see but the wise man, his friend from Mecca, who has come to him. And the wise man kneels down and he says, brother, to heaven or to hell, I am with you. And behind Sinan are the 400 disciples, and each of them come to him and they kneel and they say, Master, friend, through flame or through fire, I am with you. And the next says, though I'm lost to the sands of time and my children forget my name, I am with you. And the next says, your burden become my burden, I am with you. And so said they all. And each man who knelt before Sinan and professed his love and brotherhood released a chain on this man's heart. And he rose from the dust, and as he saw these friends, he said to himself, though I take myself to despair and to doom, I could not take my friends with me. I could not lead them all into this despair. And so for the sake of his friends and for the love he has for them, he leaves Rome and he returns to Mecca. We don't know if he was still in love with the woman, and we don't know what became of him. But if you listen carefully, you can hear through the sand a much older voice saying, greater love hath no man than this, that he laid down his life for his friends.